Hello and welcome. My name is Marc Blatstein. I'm a physician founder, Physician Pre-Sentence Report Service, and I too spent time in federal prison, and I'm here now to help you on your journey. I was convicted, as I said, of a felony, and while I had to give up my medical license, I also was able to get my ability to practice medicine reinstated, and I'm here to help you through your journey. This is an article regarding Judge CARLTON REEVES' order granting qualified immunity. And it's my own overview. I'm not an attorney, but my take on it is when qualified immunity is abused. And so let's start. The Constitution says, and I'm looking over here to my right because I'm reading my notes. The Constitution says everyone is entitled to equal protection under the law, even at the hands of law enforcement. Over the decades, though, judges have expanded legal doctrine to protect law enforcement officers from being held accountable for their actions. The resulting doctrine, called qualified immunity, has not just evolved, but morphed into absolute immunity, a transformation that underscores the gravity of the situation. This has left judges with few, if any, viable options, a stark reality that underscores the urgent need for change. See here? This story starts with a man, Jameson, driving his new Mercedes-Benz CLK class convertible, which he has purchased 13 days before from a car dealer in Pennsylvania, driving into his home in South Carolina. The journey takes him through Mississippi. Now, Jameson, he didn't look like a suspicious person. He didn't make an improper lane change. Further, Jameson wasn't suspected of passing counterfeit $20 bills. He wasn't mentally ill and in need of help. He wasn't walking back from a restaurant. He wasn't standing outside of his apartment or home. He wasn't sleeping in a bed. He wasn't driving over the speed limit. Now Jameson was just a black man driving his new Mercedes convertible. His mistake was being a black man and being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The following came from Officer McClanahan's testimony. The officer says he stopped Jameson because the temporary tag on his car was folded over where he couldn't see it. It must have been held, he said, with only 2 bolts. But with his testimony at a later date, it was seen that there was actually 4 bolts holding it. The officer asked Jameson for his license, insurance, and the paperwork on the vehicle because he says it didn't have a tag. Again, in the testimony later, it was seen that the tag was there being held by 4 bolts. Jameson provided all of this and the bill of sale and the insurance, as well as his South Carolina license. Officer McClendon's background check using El Paso Intelligence Center, EPIC, the National Criminal Information Center, NCIC, as well as Jameson's criminal history check and the VIN check of his car, all came back clear without any problems. And yet, the officer did not let Jameson know this. Next came the lies and intimidation by the officer. The officer asked Jameson if he could search his car multiple times. And it started off with Jameson asking for what? To search for illegal narcotics, weapons, large amounts of money, and anything illegal. The first request for a search. And when asked why, the officer changes the conversation to what kind of work do you do? And Jameson said he's a welder. The second request for the search, Officer McClanahan said he received a phone call reporting that there were 10 kilos of cocaine in Jameson's car. Well, that was a lie. And Jameson said no. The third request for a search came and went. The fourth claim for the search, the officer said, come on, man, let me search your car. Jameson said no. The fifth request for the search, I need to search your car because I got this phone call about 10 kilos of cocaine in your car. Jameson kept telling the officer there was nothing in the car, and the officer refused to listen. Officer McLennan continued to bring up the 10 kilos of cocaine, asserting the car was stolen when he knew it wasn't. Asked Jameson how many vehicles he owned. Claimed that Jameson did not have car insurance on the car when he knew that was false. Jameson finally gave up. He told the officer McLennan, "As long as I can see what you're doing, you could search the vehicle." The officer then proceeded to search Jameson's car, from the engine compartment to the trunk to the undercarriage to underneath the engine to the back seats to anywhere to account for all voids inside the vehicle. In his deposition, he did not find anything suspicious whatsoever, and the canine search dog gave no indication confirming there was nothing in the vehicle. In the total amount of time for this stop for Jameson by the side of the road at nighttime was 1 hour and 50 minutes. And it was probably very stressing for this young man to be there with an officer with a gun and him being a black man. This occupied pages 1 to 14 of the order. Pages 14 to 17 is the legal part, and I'm not an attorney. But in the end, because of the illegal, because of the qualified immunity regulations, the judge was obligated to grant qualified immunity, but he also said that this matter will be set for trial in due course. So it is in this order's humble opinion or mine that the common sense interpretation of qualified immunity in some cases appears to me that it needs to be revisited and rewritten. I hope you have found this helpful. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this YouTube today, and I hope you all have a good day. Take care and stay safe.